There were suggestions that there were improvements last week, despite the defeat by Arsenal. There were certainly signs that there were improvements this week in this performance at times against Fulham. Are there signs that things are moving in the right direction under Amorim?
I think so. There is the right communication. He's very honest. He says what he sees, and I like the kind of clear vision that he's got. He's got a clear vision. Yes, they are in a process, so things not going to be understood by everybody. There is mistakes going to be made and all that. So I like this process. He still have young players, especially the forward position. Last year it was a bit of difficulty to manage that because you have to teach them and at the same time you have to show confidence. Now I think we saw there is like links coming. You know, it's strength coming. There is courage in taking certain type of position, but yes, they're still lacking that dominance in midfield. That's why I think you'll be highlighted that. There is elements where the position of the striker is going to be very decisive. I think we need to play in a way where the two playmakers are a bit narrow. They can give a bit more, creativity or whatever, but they need to really like be together in all the moment of the game. This is why I think he's unhappy. Sometimes they slow down the kind of like speed and get exposed because teams are fit as well. They are committed as well. And they need to really put them at a level where they're struggling physically or whatever. And that's not the case. So that's why he's not happy. That's why he's frustrated. And he thinks that they can do better. So yes, they score a goal, but that's not enough. Man United need to do more and to upset and to score a second goal and third goal. And this is the situation they are in. I think in a way, I like what he's trying to improve or try to address, and then I think it's coming.
It was quite a big topic of conversation last season that Amorim actually wanted to come in the summer. He didn't want to come in mid-season. He's now had a transfer window. It's now much more looking like his group of players, and we're not at the end of that transfer window yet. Is this almost a clean slate for him, the start of this season, or are we still judging him on what went on last season as well?
I think it's a clean slate. Like you said, he come in halfway through the season and it wasn't when he wanted to come in. He's had a summer transfer window. Obviously, there's still time to do a few more dealings. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I think once the window shuts, then this is his team. And like Louis has been saying there, that you've got to take positives out of what we've seen, especially like the man just saying in the first 20 minutes how they started the game, and they started quick, and Fulham didn't know what to do. But it's just then when you go a goal up, especially when you come to Craven Cottage, you need to go and get the second goal. You need to kill the game off. And they wasn't able to do that. So it's still a bit of indifference there, but there's like I say, there's positives to take. And, we spoke about, if you're going to have Šeško up top, the big target man, you've got to have two number 10s that want to run off him and, get him behind. We haven't stretched the pitch enough. And, I think Fulham felt comfortable when, he come on, that there wasn't really much running in behind. And, I think fitness tells us as well that Fulham looked like they went up a gear and United literally just sat there. And, when you're doing that and you come to a place like Craven Cottage, it's going to be tough. So it was there was positives in the game, and I'm sure the manager will take positives out of it. And, like you say, it's a clean slate, but, it's about getting the wins and moving forward and scoring goals.
If they do add more in the transfer window, where do you think they're going to be looking to strengthen? Obviously, the goalkeeper situation needs to be sorted out, but do they need to strengthen in midfield, for example, as well?
I think so. This is why I think they've been in the transfer market looking for some Brighton player. Just to mention, they need power. They need people who are able to take on the ball, maybe suck the opposition, whatever, like technically, but physically as well. There is moments in the game where you need that. You really need that aggression, but at the same time, that confidence to actually drive on and show that you are dominant. I don't think that we have that at the moment. It's been said not only by me, but I think that's obvious. And then it's all about attitude. I think the approach of the game, where they're saying there is maybe sometimes where they think about the results, whatever the approach, need to be a bit more courageous and say, no, we have a style, we have the confidence to score more, and this is where they need to get that level up. It's not about new players or new sign or whatever. It's about this attitude and showing that we are good enough, and we're going to do that for 95 minutes.
Louis said a Brighton player. Would Baleba or someone like him be the answer for Manchester United?
I think you do need someone else in that midfield. I think Casemiro was in there today. Bruno Fernandes was in there, and then, when it was changed, it was Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. And, you know, Alex Iwobi was picking up pockets of space that, you know, they couldn't track. And, you know, there was midfield runners that were running off where, you know, you need a midfielder if the centre-backs are picking up the Fulham forwards, then, you know, you've got to track midfielders there. And it just looked like there was spaces opening up. You know, whether it's a mentality thing that, you know, you've got to pass that on and talk to each other and help each other out. But, you know, I think there's going to be some more movement in this transfer window, and I think Man United do need a midfielder that can, you know, play as well as defend. You know, can get up and down the pitch, and, you know, if it's that player from Brighton, then possibly he might be the answer.
And at the same time, you just like to look at what Amorim has said about the frustration of Bruno Fernandes. We've seen it. I think he was like middle of the park, trying to controlling the game. It was a bit deeper than he usually is. And you could see his body language was saying, I would love to be involved a bit further up. And then I think a player alongside him who some moment can show, he say, go on, I've got the confidence and I'm going to actually take care of those situations and create some transition for you to create. And at the moment, that's not the case.
Louis, tell me a bit more about the integration of Šeško. You've both mentioned him. You both mentioned how Manchester United are going to need to adapt to that and what he's going to need. How much of it is about him learning how to play with that team, them learning how to provide for him? Because 25 minutes against Arsenal, 37 minutes today, it's hard to adapt to him if he's not playing.
Yeah, it is hard, but it's a process. You have to believe the understanding of the manager. He sees you. He understands the kind of need that you have to. When you come from another championship, it's not the same. The Premier League is really tough. I was saying about the welcome package that I received. You get bullied, you get all those things, and you have to really understand. And by being in Man United, it's not the same. You really have to understand there is pressure coming, there is expectation, all this, and you have to learn when everybody is asking a result, asking goals and statistics. So it's a process, and I think the manager understands that. He tried to get not the same mistake that maybe he's done with Rasmus. It's not him, but there is element where those players need experience. I always felt like, back in 2 years ago, I was thinking about Harry Kane. Those type of player was able to really teach you like a lot of things, but his movement and all that. So I think in this situation where if the transfer market is closed and they don't have another addition up the field, I think he has to go with a few games like this where he's brought in, put confidence, he has some nice touches. I really feel like he can create a partnership with those two playmakers just behind him. I think he needs to be closer, and then I think we will see chances.
And as you said, it doesn't look like it's worked out with Rasmus Højlund, not involved in the squad today. The AC Milan deal isn't happening, but Napoli, the latest team to be linked with him. But for Šeško, and you talked about statistics, 16 touches, only one of them in the Fulham penalty area. Is that down to him not making the runs or him not expecting that the balls are going to be coming into him? A combination?
I think it is a combination. He's only been in there a couple of weeks, so he's got to learn a new team, a new style of play, I think, because it would have been different to the club he was at before. Ruben Amorim's going to expect a lot, and like Louis said, when you join a club like Manchester United, there's so much expectation, there's so much noise outside. It's starting to learn what players do, the runs that they do, and it's a formation where if you're the target man, you're going to need runners off you. And we said that. We said we need the number 10s to be either running behind or getting round him. I think at the time when he come on in the game as well, Man United were on the back foot and Fulham was starting to grow more and more into the game. So it was difficult, it was tough. But, everybody's seen what he can do, everyone's seen what he can produce. It's just learning more in training, getting to know the players even more, and then, showing his capabilities and his abilities on the pitch.